welcome everyone. I'm Summer Bach. And during this mini-series, you're going to learn how to get clear about looking at your body's daily messages and simple systems of expression as tools to assess your current state of health. What you measure, you can improve. So join me on the journey so you can measure, track, and improve your own health. And as a bonus, I'll be sharing which symptoms and messages are signs of gut health or gut imbalance. Gut health is my specialty and it's the foundation of your health. So let's find out where you stand and let's make a plan to make it better. So I'll, stick around with me and we'll get to the planning in a few days. But you are equipped with an amazing feedback system to tell you how your body is functioning on the inside. And yesterday I taught you to look at your face, your eyes, and your skin to get a sense of what's going on in your blood and your guts. And today you're gonna learn what your poo is saying about you. Your number 2 is your number 1 tool to see what your body is up to. So today's key takeaway is this: you can adjust your food intake to get a healthy bowel movement. But before you can even understand how to do this, you must understand what a healthy bowel movement is. So my sister was lactose intolerant growing up, and it took her years to discover this because she didn't know that it wasn't normal to have diarrhea every time you ate ice cream or drank milk. No one told her, right? You have to look at your poop every time you go to the bathroom. You can't just cover it up with toilet paper and blindly flush every time. Most people are literally flushing an opportunity down the toilet that could give them insight into their health and stave off chronic illness years before it starts. So the key indicator of health is something that you could be using every single day of your life in order to give you feedback about the choices that you made yesterday and the day before that, and even the week before that. So in order for this to work, you have to know what you're looking for. Not having a normal poop can indicate a number of varying health concerns. And here's just a few things that it could indicate: inflammatory bowel disease, not having the right gut bioterrain, food allergies, nutrient deficiency, enzyme deficiency, dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, overall acidity in the body, which is a precursor to cancer, SIBO, which stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and intestinal infections. Over the years in my gut rebuilding program, we talk about the perfect poop. My clients call it the golden doodle. They came up with that name. And a normal, healthy bowel movement should be brown, formed, and it should pass easily. So when I say easily, I really mean that it should take mere minutes from the time that you sit down to fully release a complete stool effortlessly. You should have a clean break, which means that there is no real need to wipe. And then once you're finished, you should feel elated, light, complete, and joyful. And you should have this experience 1 to 3 times a day, every day. There shouldn't be pain, straining, and effort. You shouldn't be using half a roll of toilet paper each time you go. And you shouldn't feel like there's still some left inside. You also shouldn't feel drained and gross afterward. These are all signs that something isn't working quite right in your digestive tract. So let's look at the Bristol stool chart that was developed in 1997 by Dr. Ken Heaton. And I printed this off of Wikipedia. That's where you could go find it very easily. It's called the Bristol stool chart. It's very handy, and it's gonna help you through this next little section that we're gonna talk about. So as you can see here, there are 7 different types of poop. Type 1 has separate hard lumps. They're like nuts. They're hard to pass. Like you have to really push. Type 2 is sausage shaped, but it's lumpy. And this is, it's usually very dry. It's an indicator that you're slightly constipated. The ones that are really separate hard little lumps is a very constipated state. Type 3 is like a sausage, but it has cracks on the surface. This is totally normal. Type 4, smooth, like a soft sausage or a snake is what they say, but smooth and soft. This is normal. It's all connected. It's one piece. Type 5 is soft blobs with clear-cut edges. It passes easily. This is actually not normal. It's not ideal. It means that you're often lacking fiber. Type 6 is fluffy pieces with ragged edges. So it's like a mushy consistency. This is inflammation, a very clear sign of inflammation in the body and a number of other things. Type 7, watery, no solid pieces, entirely liquid, straight up diarrhea, another sign of inflammation. So type 1 and type 2 are signs of constipation, and people who fall in this category usually poop 1 time or less per day. Sometimes they poop even as little as once a week, and that's just how it is for them on a regular basis. This is an uncomfortable situation to be in because food isn't moving through your body as quickly as it should be, and this means that toxins are getting reabsorbed into the colon. So here's the thing. When you eat your, chewing and digesting food in your mouth, you swallow, it goes into your stomach, it moves onto the small intestine, bile is added in the small intestine, and then it goes in the colon, and that's where all the bacteria live, right? And that's where they're digesting and fermenting and helping you. And hopefully you have good bacteria so that you can get good results from their efforts. If you have bad bacteria, toxins are going to get produced and absorbed into your bloodstream. So that's the crazy thing about your intestines, is that anything in your intestines can easily get absorbed into your bloodstream. Your body uses this. It's like this very thin membrane, and your body can soak up whatever's there. So as food is being digested, if it's moving too slowly through the colon, these waste products that should be leaving are actually getting reabsorbed into the blood. And then that goes back to the liver and is filtered again. And so it creates this really negative feedback loop of a lot of toxicity going, out of the colon, back into the liver, squirted back into the small intestine to be eliminated, squirted back into the sigmoid colon to be eliminated, and then coming back out. So it creates this cycle between the colon and the liver, and it's just constantly going. It's not good. Over time, this is going to make your blood funky. It's going to make your body toxic, and you're going to see it in your skin. So let's see. So this also, constipation, this can lead to SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It's exacerbated by slow motility. So one of the steps to healing SIBO is actually increasing your intestinal motility. And SIBO is often associated with rosacea. And those of you who have it, it's the redness on your face or your chest, allergies, food allergies, and just really like a highly reactive state in general. And that's somebody who's just like easily, like they eat something, they react, they touch something, they react. Not good. So types 5, 6, and 7 on the Bristol stool chart are diarrhea. These people often struggle with inflammation, and that can show up in a variety of symptoms like arthritis, allergies, hives, food allergies, things like that. And some people even just fluctuate all over the stool chart. That's a sure sign of IBS, intestinal bowel syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome. And, emotions also play a big part in poop, and they can instigate constipation or diarrhea. And we're going to talk about emotions and gut health in a couple of days. So stick around for that powerful lesson. All right. So your stools should be fully digested. There should not be any discernible food left over. This can also indicate that you're not chewing your food well enough if you're seeing whole pieces of food at the end. Now, we don't want to forget color. Your poop should be brown. The color brown in your poop is often caused by the food that's mixed in with the bilirubin from your bile, as well as the bacterial fermentation. And what's interesting is that the bacteria ferment your food. They're actually creating this slippery substance that allows your poop to move through your intestines easily and effortlessly. So having the right bacteria is crucial to not being constipated. If your poop changes color, it can indicate various things about your health. So green poop, it can mean that your food is moving too quickly through your digestive tract. It can also happen when you start eating more veggies or more chlorophyll. So we'll see that sometimes when people start doing my cleanse, they'll be like, my poop is kind of green. So usually it goes away within a few days, but if it persists, you need to make sure that you're getting your digestion stronger so that you're breaking things down properly. You're missing out on nutrients. They're moving right by before your body gets to absorb them. Light colored or white stool can indicate issues with bile production or even an obstruction of the bile duct. So that's can be more serious. Some medications can cause this too. And sometimes stool could even be covered in like a white cobwebby mucus. This is often caused by candida in the intestines or an intestinal infection. Black and red poop indicates blood. So that's not ideal, right? This is when it starts getting a little bit scary. Or it could be iron supplements or eating too many beets. So you really got to pay attention to what's going on there. Not digesting your fats very well can also indicate like liver or gallbladder issues. And you'll notice this when your poop is yellow, foul smelling, and greasy, which is not very fun. So speaking of smell, it's normal for your poop to not smell like roses. Not expecting that. But it shouldn't be nauseating. It shouldn't be overpowering, sulfuric, rotten smelling, or just super disgusting, right? This indicates that the bacteria in your gut are fermenting your food improperly. This is caused by having the wrong bacteria living in your gut, and also possibly by not having the right enzymes or even the proper pH in your gastric juices. So they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Like having the proper pH in each of your gastric juices will help the right bacteria to grow. So there's a lot of issues at play. This is a little bit complex. You know, you have to make sure you have the right bacteria. You have to make sure you're absorbing your minerals. You have to make sure your pH is proper. Like there's all these things that weave together to create strong digestion. You're going to have to work on getting the right bacteria growing in the gut, getting the bad bacteria out, or the yeasts that are growing that shouldn't be there. Also getting the digestion stronger, increasing your mineral absorption as well, and that will help with pH. So what's crazy is that many people turn to over-the-counter medications as a way to deal with, constipation and diarrhea and various digestive upsets in general. So Mylanta, Tums, Pepto-Bismol, Kaopectate, Rolaids, these just mask the symptoms of bad digestion. And you're not listening to your body at this point. You're not learning how to use these messages as a way to heal, which is essentially what they're there for. Masking the symptoms can lead you further down the path towards chronic symptoms. And this is where it gets kind of intense. Science has uncovered a ton of information in the past couple of years that shows the direct correlation between an unhealthy gut and certain chronic conditions. Autoimmune disorder, obesity, asthma, allergies, simply being overweight, type 2 diabetes, thyroid dysfunction, inflammatory bowel disease, and hormone imbalance. These all stem from the gut. So if you're dealing with any of these issues, we know that you have to start healing your gut. And I've worked with many people who have either completely healed or successfully managed their issues by doing the work in my gut rebuilding program. So if you're struggling with any of these, you can look at your poop every day to start to understand the changes and what they mean. But let's say you're not dealing with any of these more complex issues that I just discussed, but things aren't looking so great in the toilet. All the chronic illnesses that I just mentioned is where you could be headed if you're not fixing it now, if you're not paying attention, listening to those messages, and starting to make a shift. So this is also where you could be headed if you're using over-the-counter meds to mask the issues. So remember, food as medicine is the best kept secret. And I'm excited to show you later how you can use the food that you eat to help make your poop healthy so that you feel good and then your skin starts glowing more every day. And I'm a trained herbalist, so I also know how to use herbs to help people clear up health issues, not just mask them. And I used to have environmental allergies really darn bad, actually, and I had to heal my gut in order to get rid of the allergies. All right, so let's find out what your poo is telling you. All right, this is part of the challenge now. Over the next 24 hours, I want you to note the color, the smell, and see what types of stool you have based on the Bristol stool chart. Write it down. Is it effortless? Do you strain? How many times are you going each day? Do you have a clean break? And how close are you to the golden doodle? That's my challenge for you. I just want you to look. I want you to pay attention. And just like with the skin, I want you to just look through fresh eyes. Don't make judgments about yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Just look, just note. This is just gathering data. Data. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's data. That's the stage we're in. Once you've assessed the data, then we can start tracking it, and then we can start to make improvements from there. All right, tomorrow we're going to be talking about your energy levels and energy leaks. Your energy is your vitality and your life force. It's the power that moves you forward in your life. When your gut is compromised, your energy levels falter. So join me on the next video where I'm going to show you how you could be draining your most important resource. Thanks everyone. This is Summer Bach signing out.